A court in Ontario is set to deliver a verdict tomorrow morning in the trial of the man responsible for the Toronto van attack. 10 people were killed and several severely injured nearly 3 years ago when Minassian drove a rented van down a busy Toronto sidewalk. The 28-year-old has admitted to planning and carrying out the attack, but pleaded not guilty. His defense lawyers argue he should not be criminally responsible because he has a form of autism. Well, my next guest is among those concerned about how autism is being used as a defense in this case. Kim Sauder has autism. She's a PhD candidate in disability studies at York University, and she joins me tonight from Toronto. Hi, Kim. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
So you've been following along on this case, and the trial rests on his state of mind. So we've been hearing these arguments that his autism left him incapable of making rational choice, that it didn't allow him to develop empathy, that he didn't know what was morally wrong. How is it to hear these defenses in the court case?
It's really quite sickening because this is not how autistic people are or how anything really works. It seems like they're trying to make this argument that there's this magical level of autism that makes you immune from culpability for mass murder, and that doesn't make any sort of sense.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about maybe some of the misconceptions around autism and also the difference between autism and psychosis. Someone can have both, but one doesn't inherently mean that the other is present.
I mean, the way the lawyer has set it up is not claiming that Minassian is not psychotic, but that his pattern of thinking is like psychosis, which is not an understanding of autism that I have ever read. I mean, there's some problematic theories about autistic people out there, and that's not one that I've ever really come across.
Tell us a little bit about some of the misconceptions that you often hear about autism, and does this kind of perpetuate that?
This idea that autistic people are incapable of empathy or, can't tell right from wrong is very much not accurate. And it all depends on the individual for, how much empathy they feel towards other people. But, even a lack of empathy does not make you not criminally responsible for mass murder.
Do you worry about the implications? Tomorrow we will hear the verdict. If he's found not criminally responsible, what impact could this have on the autism community?
It could very potentially have a lot of impact on stigma. I mean, there's already a lot of stigma around autistic people and whether or not we can be dangerous as a result of the way we exist in the world. We often, move in unexpected ways that are not necessarily dangerous, but because they're unexpected, they make people scared. So this idea that he is not criminally responsible, and the fact that he's not criminally responsible is hinged entirely on the fact that he's autistic, could have horrific ramifications for the autistic community.
Do you worry also, even if the ruling isn't in his favor, has the damage sort of been done by even presenting this as a possibility as a legal defense?
Yes, I mean, the autistic community had, and this has been covered in the news before, that autistic people have been protesting this legal tactic. And it is really important that it does not succeed because it is just so fundamentally offensive to human dignity to suggest that an entire group of people are incapable of understanding the horrors of mass murder, and particularly the horrors of mass murder that is perpetrated because of rampant misogyny.
Do you think this takes away from that conversation and also from, as you say, the horrors of this crime and the victims of it?
I think it does. It tries to downplay the idea that the misogynistic roots of this attack. He was, he cited that he was angry that women wouldn't sleep with him, similar to like Elliot Rodger. So he absolutely does not exist in a vacuum. What he did does not exist in a vacuum. And so he knows, like, there is no doubt in my mind that he is aware that what he's doing is, whether he believes in himself that it is okay because he's angry, does not mean that he should get away with it.
All right, we will be watching for that verdict tomorrow. Kim Sauder, a PhD candidate in disability studies at York University. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.